IP route followed by the destination's network address. So let's say if I want to go to 192.168.10.0 network, whose subnet mask is 255.255.255.0 space. Now we need to assign the next hop address, which will be 10.0.0.1, and hit enter. So we're done with the first network. Now if I want to go to next network, I'll just hit up arrow and change this address. Let's say this is not 20. It has to go to 30 network. So if a 20 network wants to go to 30 network, then it is possible only via this hop, which is 20.0. 20.0.0.2. And now one more network, which is a 40th network. So 192.168.40 network, and it is also going via the same next hop address, which would be 20.0.0.2. So with this, we're done configuring the static routes on our California router. So now we'll have to do on Illinois router. So go to IP. We are already in config mode. So just say IP route. Now in this case, from here, if I want to go to these networks, my next hop address will be always this one. And for this network, my next hop address will be this one, which is 30.0.0.2. And for this networks here, my next hop address from here, from Illinois router, will be always 20.0.0.1. So on our Illinois router, IP route, I want to go to 192.168.20.0 network, whose subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, whose next hop address is 192, whose next hop address is 20.0.0.1, 20.0.0.1, and then if it wants to go to 10 network, then it has to go via the same interface, but if it wants to go to 40 network, which is this side of the network, then the next hop address for this will be 30.0.0.2. So we'll change that. So this will be 30.0.0. And hit enter. So we're done with all these three routers: New York router, California router, and Illinois router. We manually configured all the routes. Now the last router to be configured is our Florida router. So if you click on this, go to its config mode, say conf T. Now if I want to go to Illinois router or California router or to New York network, my next hop address will be always 30.0.0.1. Alright? So let's type the command for static route. So IP route 192.168.30.0. Net mask is 255.255.255.0, and whose next hop address is 30.0.0.1. And let's say if let's go to 40 network, 20 network, then again it will be the same next hop address. And if it needs to go to 10 network, it has to go via the same next hop address. So this completes the static routing between all the routers. Now if you want to see whether we configure it properly or not, let's see whether we're able to communicate. So let's go to PC0 and go to command line, and then type ping. Let's ping our 20 network host, which is the California host, which is 192.168.20.10. We'll drop the first packet, but from the second packet, you will see it's getting reply. Do the same thing if you want to. Next time, it will not drop the packet. Now, similarly, you can check for your Illinois host, 30.10. So first time may drop the first packet, but next time it will be up without any problem. And the last host to check is 40.10 host. So it dropped the first packet, but from the next time it will be fine. Alright. So this is how you configure the static route. If you configure it properly, whether you are communicating from PC0 or PC3. Let's just check one more host to host. Let's say if I am on Florida host, if I want to ping my New York host, which is 192.168.10.10, it is communicating with it. So that means all the 4 different networks are communicating each other. Now if you want to see how to check these static routes, you can go to New York router and just on your config mode, or just exit out from here, say show IP route to check the routing table. Wherever you will see the S letter, that means it's a static route, and C are the directly connected networks. Alright? So it is going to 192.168.20.0 via this interface. For 30 network, it is going via the same interface, and to 40 network, it is going to the same interface. But if you look at the routing table of a California router, so for that, if you are in a config mode, just type do show IP route. Now here, you will see there are 3 static routes, which is the 10 network, the 30 network, and the 40 network. They're all connected, and by using, let's say if it has to go to 192.168.40 network, it is going to be at 20.0.0. Whereas if it has to go to 10 network, then it is going to be at 10.0.0.1. So this way you can make sure to see all your static routes in your routing table, and this is how you configure the static routing. Alright? If you are configuring a default route, you don't have to configure any of these routes. Just simply you have to go on to this New York router, and instead of giving these network addresses on the static route, what you can do, just give all zeros, 0.0.0.0, followed by its subnet mask with the same 4 zeros, where you have to assign the next hop address. So you don't have to give 3 network addresses with the 3 next hop interface addresses. So just assign one command with IP route 0.0.0.0 to its subnet mask, which is 0.0.0.0, followed by the interface address. So with that, you will configure the default route. That's how you configure a default route. Right? So that's what you need to do on New York router and on the Florida, the last router, which is the Florida router. So when you give 0.0.0.0, that means you are saying that you go to any network, any destination network via this interface. So there need to be only one command needs to be configured. That is one IP route followed by the command and its next hop address. But on California and on Illinois router, whenever you are configuring a default route, make sure to give the network address, make sure to give 0.0.0.0 with the interface, which is the next hop address. On this router, it will be a little bit different because you need to give, there are 2 different next hop addresses for this router. One next hop address is 0.1, which is 10.0.0.1, and another next hop address is 20.0.0.2. So that's what the only thing that you need to remember when you are configuring a default route on, especially on California and Illinois router. I hope you guys understood it. Great. Thank you.